Hello, this is the Nurse Hack for Health. Welcome to Microsoft Teams training session. I'm Aaron Przondek, a Microsoft Customer Success Manager, and I will be guiding you through today's session. And today we'll be focusing on helping you get set up within Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams will be the tool that you will be using to join the Nurse Hack for Health and participate in the hackathon. And so today I'm going to take you through how to download Microsoft Teams if you don't already have it on your device, how you can run Microsoft Teams in a browser if you choose to, not use the desktop application, and then how you can switch back and forth between your maybe existing tenant, if you use Teams already today, and the tenant where the hackathon will be taking place. We'll also talk a little bit about how you can configure notifications within Teams. And then finally, if there are any questions that we don't answer in this session and you would like to reach out for some assistance, you can email the address that you see here on the slide, support@nursehackforhealth.org. So we will go ahead and get into some of our content today. And for starters, we're going to talk about how you can download the Microsoft Teams desktop application. And so you should by now have received an email from the Nurse Hack for Health team. It should look very much like the one that you see here. And notice that in the registration area under step 2, there is a link to download Microsoft Teams. And so this application is available for your Windows device or your Mac device. And if you visit that link within the email, you will be brought to this website here, where you can go ahead and download for the desktop, and that will give you the complete Microsoft Teams desktop application. And then you'll be able to sign in there and start using Teams. However, if you don't want to do that, you can also use Teams through a web browser. By simply just opening any browser that you have and navigating to the website teams.microsoft.com. And in fact, throughout this demonstration, that is how I will be using Teams. I will be using Teams within a browser, and it's the same experience as if you had downloaded the Teams desktop application and used it from there. So you have a choice as to kind of which way in which you would like to participate with the hackathon through Microsoft Teams. Now, once you have Teams installed or are using Teams through the browser, or maybe you already have Teams today and you would like to join the Nurse Hack for Health tenant, I will show you how you do that. So in the upper right-hand corner of your Teams environment, you should see a little down arrow and maybe the name of your existing organization. And if you were to click on that little down arrow next to the name of your organization, you should see a menu appear like this one here. That will show you the organization that you're probably already a member of. And then you should see an organization called DevUp. And that is the name of the environment that you want to join to participate in the Nurse Hack for Health. So by simply clicking there, that will switch your Teams from your current environment into the DevUp environment. And once you have done that, it should look like this for you on your screen. You should find a team within the Teams area called Nurse Hack for Health 2021 Spring Hackathon, and then there will be various channels there that you will use throughout the hackathon. And in another training session like this one, we will provide you instruction and assistance on what do each of these channels mean and how will you use them during the hackathon. But for now, we're just going to kind of get you familiar with Teams. And so one area that we want to show you that you can configure in terms of your own Teams experience is what we call the notifications area. So, much like on your mobile phone, when somebody sends you a text message or you receive a new email, you probably get a notification on your phone letting you know that. Well, Microsoft Teams works in exactly the same way, and you can configure the notifications so that you can either increase the amount of times that you're notified or maybe decrease how often you are notified in Teams. And so in order to configure that, all you need to do is go in the upper right-hand corner of your team's experience and look for your initials like you see here for mine. And so by clicking on your initials there, that brings up what we call your profile. And within the profile menu, you'll want to look for the settings menu. So if we click on settings there, that's going to bring up a number of settings that are available for Microsoft Teams. And the area that we are looking for is the notifications area. So if you navigate there, here is where you have control over how little or how much you want to be notified. And there's different sections for the notifications. So in terms of chats, chats are messages that you can send to other members of the hackathon. You can click edit next to the chat area and really configure whether or not you want to receive banner notifications if somebody mentions you, or just have that show up in your feed. When it says banner, we're talking about that pop-up notification that would happen in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. So if you want to get those pop-ups whenever somebody mentions you, then simply leave that setting there to banner and feed, or you could change it to only show in feed, and then that would just have those notifications appear here in the activity area. But we think for the best experience, it's probably good to keep some of those notifications turned on. But there's also others as well. So notice that here within the Teams and Channels area, you can configure to receive all activity related to Teams and Channels. Or if you click on Custom, then you can get very granular in terms of controlling those notifications. So one good example is during the hackathon, you are going to join a couple of teams, or maybe one team in particular, where you will be doing, creating your solution. That would be a good team or channel to configure notification for. So notice here, I can go to any of these channels, and if I want, I can click on the menu next to them. And I can go to channel notifications and I can turn on, for example, all activity, and that will always notify me of any activity that's happening within that channel. So that might be something good to do once you have joined your particular team. You can then pin that team to your list, and then you'd be able to configure those notifications accordingly. So switching back now, that really concludes this session on kind of getting you set up for Microsoft Teams. So just to recap, we talked about where you can go to download Microsoft Teams. You will find that link in the welcome email. We then talked about how you can easily join the DevUp tenant by switching to that tenant in the upper right-hand corner of your Teams experience, and then configure your notifications accordingly in the settings area of Teams found within the upper right-hand corner. So that concludes this training session. We really look forward to seeing you during the hackathon. And again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us at support@nursehackforhealth.org. Thank you, and we'll see you there.